Science. 7. Natural calamities. 7. Natural calamities. In this chapter, you will learn about different types of natural disasters. An earthquake. How an earthquake occurs. What is seismograph? The different types of volcanoes, cyclones, tsunami, floods, and droughts. Natural calamities are disasters caused by natural forces like floods, cyclones, earthquakes, etc. These calamities cause great damage to life and property. Let us learn about these calamities and how to cope with them. Earthquake. Sudden movement inside the earth shake the earth's crust, causing an earthquake. Earthquakes of great intensity cause great damage to life and property. The earthquakes occur when one mass of rock suddenly moves in relation of the other. It is due to the movement of the plates below the earth's crust. Our earth has several plates of rocks below its upper surface called the crust. The crust of the earth is constantly moving. When the two plates collide, due to massive forces, shaking and cracking of Earth's crust takes place. This results in an earthquake. Earthquakes are also due to the movement of the underground molten materials, magma. Some of the earthquakes are also due to stresses within the Earth's surface. For example, when the temperature becomes low, the plates shrink, and this generates a stress within the plates. Sometimes this stress breaks the plates. This gives a shake to the Earth's crust and results in an earthquake. Earthquakes are measured on the Richter scale. This scale was invented by Charles Richter in 1935. The Richter scale starts from 1. Earthquakes of magnitude 1 or 2 cannot be felt, but those of 3 or 4 can be felt. The ones that measure 5 or 6 cause major damage. Seismograph is an instrument to detect an earthquake. People who study earthquakes are called seismologists. The seismograph consists of a frame, a spring, a stone, a drum, paper, and a pen. As the earth trembles, the spring moves the pen over the paper wrapped on the drum. This reading or pattern obtained on the paper is called a seismogram. Volcanoes. Volcanoes are the various vents or cracks in the crust of the earth through which the molten rock or the lava is forced out to the surface. In fact, a volcano is a type of hill or mountain with a vent. The vent reaches down to a chamber of molten rock under the ground. The molten rock is forced up the vent and flows out as lava. Based on the nature of the eruptions, volcanoes are active, dormant, or extinct. Volcanoes that have erupted in recent years and may erupt again anytime are called active volcanoes. Many active volcanoes exist in the Pacific area. Famous active volcanoes include Mount Vesuvius, Mount Etna, Mount Erebus, and Mount Fuji. The Barren Island is the only active volcano in the Indian subcontinent. It is located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Volcanoes that have not erupted in recent years but may erupt in the future are called dormant volcanoes. Volcanoes which have stopped erupting are called extinct volcanoes. Cyclones. Cyclones are caused by intense low pressure system towards which wind travels at great speed. They are especially dangerous in coastal areas which experience a great difference between temperature and pressure conditions on the land and sea. The level of the sea near the coastal areas rises suddenly and lashes onto the land, destroying buildings and crops. Strong winds with speeds of over 100 kilometers per hour uproot trees, telephone, and electric poles and destroy whatever comes in their way. Tsunami. It is a series of ocean waves produced by an underwater earthquake, landslide, or volcanic eruption. These waves are at times 30 meters high and 200 kilometers long and can travel at a speed of 250 to 900 kilometers per hour across entire oceans for a few days. It is very common in the Pacific Ocean. On 26 December 2004, an earthquake measuring 9.0 on the Richter scale hit the coast of Indonesia. It triggered a massive tsunami that resulted in widespread death and destruction across South Asia. There were over 150,000 deaths across 11 countries, including Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, and Thailand. Over 5 million people became homeless. Floods. During heavy rains, rivers overflow and submerge the surrounding areas. As a result of deforestation, heavy rains causes soil erosion in the mountains and floods in the plains. Floods destroy life and property. After a flood, drowning, snake bites, fever, and infections kill many people. As crops are destroyed, famine-like conditions occur. People become jobless and migrate to cities to work as laborers. Drought. Drought is exactly the opposite condition of the floods. This calamity also affects a wide range of people. Hot, dry winds, very high temperature, and evaporation of moisture from the ground results in conditions of drought. We need rains for the cultivation of crops. But sometimes we do not have enough rain. This results in the shortage of crops. Excess of shortage leads to a famine in the affected region. The people living in such areas have to face starvation due to lack of food. People have to wait for help to come in the form of food, water, and medicine from neighboring places or international agencies. Roundup. Natural calamities causes great damage to life and property. Sudden movements inside the earth shakes the earth's crust, causing an earthquake. Volcanoes are the various vents or cracks in the crust of the earth through which the molten rock or the lava is forced out to the surface. Cyclones are caused by intense low-pressure systems towards which winds travel at great speed. Tsunami is a series of ocean waves produced by an underwater earthquake, landslide, or volcanic eruption. Hot dry winds, very high temperature, and evaporation of moisture from the ground can result in conditions of drought.